All the content contained in this webcast is for informational purposes only. The investments and strategies contained in this webcast may not be suitable for you. Please consult your own independent financial advisor before making any investment or trading decisions. Good morning, traders and investors around the world, and welcome to Wednesday's edition of premarketinfo.com, where we prepare you for the most important hour of the day, the first hour. Well, Dennis, we battled back from Monday's low, strong close, and right back down.
Right back down here, Joel. It seems like we sell off overnight and then we bounce during the regular session. Then we sell off overnight and we bounce during the regular session. I don't know when that trend's going to be broken, but we're selling off again. We're down $10.
Got a big level to focus on, Dennis. Monday's low, which was actually Sunday night's low when we were all sleeping at 1342.50. Tried to sneak down there yesterday at 1343.75. Got the rip roaring bounce to settle back up at 1358 and set 1358.75. I may have to adjust my numbers, Dennis, because the lowest number I've got is 1338, and we're only 20 points away from that. But if my memory serves correctly, we have another low at 1332 that we need to focus on. Moving on to a few of the Big Ten, Dennis. Boy, Apple Computer, Dennis, just hanging above that 550 level.
Yeah, Apple keeps holding on here, Joel. 555 is the number. We keep talking about that, but it keeps holding on. So as long as it's holding above 555, your longs could still argue that that double bottom could still be in place. It starts to take that 550 out number. I'm going to keep saying it every day. I'm going to get nervous if it takes that out.
Yeah, I think Apple may be getting ready for a real big drop, Dennis. You want to know why?
Why?
I don't know, because I don't know. I keep thinking that if it could break above 573 here, we're gonna have a big rally.
I know. I'm thinking the same thing almost. If it was to break up above that level too. Like I think a lot of people are bearish overall. And the stock has held up not bad considering, Joel, that the SPUs have made new lows and Apple hasn't. So it's held up okay relative strength the last few days. But keep an eye on that 555, and I think you gave a good number there too. That 573 number there, 572.77, which was actually the high from 2 days ago. If it can start to break above there, maybe get a little bit of air, and maybe it has a little relief rally.
Also, Dennis, I just want to alert our listeners to here in Apple that we've had some very, very mild ranges in the stock here for the last couple days.
Right.
You can't nearly call them inside days or whatnot, but you have had some 10, 12, 13-point ranges, which is unusual for this issue. So we're going to get a breakout here above 573 or finally crack this 558.73 level and go back and try that 555. A few other stocks in the Big Ten, Dennis, are just not acting good. ExxonMobil down 77 cents as well.
ExxonMobil, we talked about this on the weekly outlook. We said, look, if this double bomb doesn't hold this 84.40, we kind of had a price target at $82. Well, it got halfway there yesterday, got to 82.91. Bounced all afternoon. I can show you the bouncer. Obviously, everything bounced in the afternoon. But lo and behold, we're right back down here in the morning, trading down at 83 and a quarter. So keep an eye on that low from yesterday. I still think this stock might visit $82 sometime in the near future.
Okay, not everything is down this morning, Dennis. The House of Mouse got a pop.
House of Mouse, Disney reported earnings after the bell. Popped up nicely. Joel, find that after hours high was somewhere in the low 45s. The stock is giving some of those gains back with the broad market sell-off here this morning. 44.60 is where it's trading right now. I think if it goes into rally mode, I think $45 would be huge on this thing. But you also got to keep an eye on the 52-week high, which is 44.50. If it opens below that, then maybe that puts a lid on it. So keep an eye on that 52-week high, which is the from the regular session. I know we're trading above it right now, but keep an eye on that 44.50 number. That could be a good swing number.
Yeah, Dennis, we did hit 45.48 in the pre-market.
Okay, that was after hours last night.
Yeah, I got a little carried away here. Looking at this chart, Dennis, 44.50 is also the all-time high in this stock.
Is it really? I didn't realize we were on all-time highs.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep. And we hit 44.34 back at the end of March in 2011.
Yep.
We've stuck back up here now. For all you people that have been crying about your 20-year returns or 10 years returns in stocks, here's a chance to get out at something at or near the top.
There you go.
The Avengers movie, I guess, is doing pretty well. John Carter was a flop. The parks are doing okay. I mean, this stock sure looks like it's ready to take a little bit of a breather here. But Dennis, keep an eye on that 44.50. I have to agree. Got the 44.49 yesterday. I wouldn't be surprised if you run into a mound of sellers at 45. So, are the earnings good enough to make people initiate new positions in Disney? That's the question.
It's a good question to ask too, Joel. So it'll be interesting to see what it does in the regular session. Macy's also reported here this morning, which is symbol M, and that stock is not performing well at all here in the pre-market. It is down now a buck and a half. Reported just after 8 o'clock. We post the market movers right before Macy's report, so we didn't have a chance. But we're talking about it here. Yesterday's low was 38.34. I'd still keep an eye on that number. If we do indeed open below that, I think you can go back maybe to early March. We had a low at 37.11. I'd maybe look to that level if we really cut through this 38 with some conviction. And if we start to bounce up, there's a lot of air, Joe. A lot of air, probably, getting all the way up to yesterday's high, which was 40. Trying to grab it there, 40.14. So there is a lot of air in this thing. So I'd expect a little bit of volatility in the regular session.
That stock may never trade 40 again, Dennis.
Well, it may not, Joel, but I'm just saying if it goes into rally mode, there is some air up there because we had a heck of a range ahead of earnings on this yesterday. I know a lot of the retailers were really moving yesterday with those fossil earnings. It was flowing into, even the other retailers that aren't directly related. But it had, $1.80 range yesterday. So I'm just saying, expect, don't be shocked that this thing started to, get a pop. And if it did, obviously it's going to be met with some resistance once you get to, the close into yesterday's high. But I think, obviously it's selling off pretty significantly here. So just saying that, there is a lot of air here in the stock everywhere.
Yeah, Dennis, I got to give you some props going back to yesterday on your fossil call. You finally won a Labatt's Light from me. I think you only owe me 11 now.
Yeah.
But I was dead wrong on that stock, and it just got pummeled. And I don't know if my memory serves me correctly. Was it the winner of the Masters that Bubba Watson was he wearing? Was he wearing a fossil watch?
Oh man, I have no idea. I remember watching him. I remember that shot that he made, from the woods basically, a crazy shot to get it on in the playoff hole. But I did not look at his watch, Joel. I was too busy watching his club do that magic.
Well, no, but the reason I'm thinking about it is because if my memory serves me correctly, that was like a fossil watch. If it wasn't a fossil watch, it was like a $500,000 watch.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, man, what kind of company can make money selling a $500,000 watch?
Lots of celebrities.
if it was fossil, then now not too many people are buying those watches. But going back to Macy's, Dennis, too bad we didn't get an opportunity to short this thing going through this 38.30 level. You had the triple bottom there. If we get a bounce, I would look to short it in that area. Looking at the pre-market, Dennis, you did have a low at 37.76, trading at 37.90. Really not getting a bounce, though. A lot of times we talk about these stocks and make a spike low or either consolidate and make a counter move. This is just not getting a bounce. So buyer beware in the open for Macy's.
Yeah, and you know what? It actually is trading quite a bit of volume here too. So it does look like this is going to open quite a bit weaker. It's not like it's just trying to find its range. It's kind of consolidating down here too, drifting lower, so on heavy volume. So I think Macy's not going to be a good day for Macy's shareholders. One more reported this morning here, Dean Foods, not a company we talk about a lot, but it's a food stock conservative play, really getting a nice lift in the pre-market here. Joel, symbol DF on that one. 13.90 it's trading at right now. Almost feels like it's getting overdone for a 12 stock that closed at 12.72 to be open up at 13.90. And guess what the 52-week high is, Joel?
Right there. Huh, Dennis?
1390. It's right there, 1390. So
You got some size at 14?
I don't see up there that high, but I'd imagine you gotta think there's gonna be some institutions selling this thing, into this 14 area. Watch the whole numbers. Whenever stocks are making new highs and new 52-week highs, for that matter, you want to keep an eye on the whole numbers because you have institutions that just say, look, sell 100, sell 25,000 at 14, sell another 25,000 at 15, and so there's always size usually at those levels that the high frequency guys they sniff that stuff out and they lean in front of that stuff. So you usually see a lot of times a high will be at 1390 or 5 or 10 cents in front of a whole number, probably because there's a bunch of high frequency traders just leaning on that size of the whole number.
Right. Well, Dennis, this 1390 is huge. As you mentioned, the 52-week high got back up there back in May of 2011. Actually, in June, it only got up to 1385. Lo and behold, we're knocking on the door there, Dennis. If it breaks through there, we're looking at a high up in the 1589 area, which was the high back in May 2010. I don't see that today, but let's use that 1390 as a swing number. It's just kind of bumping its head up there in the pre-market too. Also keep in mind the stock is up on very little volume here, so if people really want to sell some stock, they have going to have an opportunity here at 1390 to 14.
AIG, everybody seems to be jumping on the bandwagon on this one now. Joel, Goldman Sachs upgrading it here this morning. I don't know what to say. Obviously, they had the 30.50 offering price. That's what made that low there 2 days ago. We got a lift there the other day, and now it actually pulled back, but then rallied back up. It's starting to look a little bit better on the charts here. 30.50 is obviously the hard bottom, but look at yesterday's low at 31.05. It is trading up in the pre-market. Whenever Goldman upgrades something, it usually does get a lift. So I would expect pullbacks to probably be met with some buyers on this.
Well, Dennis, didn't Goldman upgrade Apple at 620?
Yeah, they upgraded 610. It got the lift to 620, and then obviously it wasn't too pretty after that. But
yeah, these upgrades and downgrades. Dennis did that little blog about the Wells Fargo upgrade the other day. You gotta have them fit into your own trading plan, and my trading plan here for AIG is to keep a real close eye on this 32.25 level. That was yesterday's high. Even with the Goldman Sachs upgrade, we have not been able to get over the $32 level. So 32 to 32.25 major resistance. Offering is still looming in this stock. You had the gap down a few days ago. I don't know, Dennis. It's not they definitely didn't upgrade this thing based on the chart.
Yeah, well, we had, if it ever started to really go for a run, like not today, talking to you swing traders up there, there's a hard top up there in that whole 35 area with multiple highs. It's a long ways away from here, but sometimes you longer-term swing traders like to look at, different longer levels. But it's hard to say. Like, you got that hard offering price down there at 30.50. There's going to be, obviously, some people that can buy the stock that are allowed to participate in that secondary down there, and sometimes they dump the stock into the open market, and that can sometimes put pressure and keep the stock price, keep a lid on it. But there is, some people getting bullish, saying the government's getting out of this issue and the fundamentals are a lot better than they used to be. So that's why I think probably why Goldman's jumping on the bandwagon too. Soda, S-O-D-A, SodaStream here, Joel, stock that has just been terrible basically for the last 6 months, getting a lift off earnings for once. It's been beat up a couple of times before, obviously topped out back in July at $79. The thing's closed yesterday at $29, now trading $34.30 here, Joel. What do you think of Soda?
Soda is getting a pop here, huh, Dennis?
Soda pop.
I don't know about this one, man. 35.61 is what we've hit in the pre-market. We're already a buck away from that, so that's going to be a major point. That also coincides with the 35.75 high that we had on May 1st. A lot of people underwater in this stock, Dennis, and $5 pop here on the open. Would not be surprised to see the whole 35 area hold up here and the stock just to meander back down.
Some of your European financials are weak. I want to focus more on our U.S. financials, though, because we do have some traders that like to trade the U.S. financials. Obviously, the European financials being down this morning are putting pressure on the entire market, but I think, it puts even more pressure on some of our U.S. financials. And we've got stocks like Citigroup, which are trading down 50 cents this morning. If you look even at it, let's just take them one by one. Citigroup here had a bottom there yesterday. Just trying to grab it there, $31. It's trading below that today at 30.80 here, Joel. Where is Citigroup heading?
31. I thought it was at $3.
Yeah.
No, that's some major support there, Dennis. That 31 level, and now we're trading below it. If you do get a pop up at 31 to 31.06, that was an old double bottom. That should be where you're trying to lay out the shorts initially. You do have a gap back in this stock in January on its run up between 30.90 and 31. Well, we're filling that gap right now. I'd say $30, Dennis. If this thing really starts to go into motion, you really didn't have a lot of trading between 30 and 31 on the upside. So let's duplicate that on the downside. The more interesting chart and the more tangible trade today could be in Wells Fargo, Dennis. I mean, this thing has had that huge move up, just bumping its head up at 34.50 and then 34.30. Seller stepped down under 34. The low of the move has been 32.43, Dennis. But I anticipate if this thing finally cracks, so you've had all these lows in this area, if it cracks 32.43, Dennis, this thing could be down at $31 in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I think it's got to hold that level, and some players will come in and buy it off that support. It's bottomed out there a few times until it cracks it. Then obviously maybe that bottom still holds. But you're right, Joel. Just a lot of these other financials. I'm just looking at the charts here. Have been breaking down too. Like look at Goldman, made a new low yesterday. Did get a pop with the late afternoon rally and everything, obviously rally, but got to 107.77, trading down there right now, 108.30, and actually offered at 107.99. But these stocks are making new lows, and even J.P. Morgan, it made a new low yesterday there too, and now it's flirting with that again. It got down to as low as 40.95. It's actually trading 40.70 below that right now. So these financials still don't look good, Joel, in the charts. None of them. So, if Wells Fargo could crack that level that you talked about, maybe it starts to follow and, make new lows like some of these other financials are.
Yeah, I mean, we don't discuss a lot of patterns here on the show, Dennis, but you're looking at that Goldman Sachs chart there, and kind of looks like a head and shoulders top to me. I don't know. What your opinion.
I can kind of see that. You got the left shoulder in early March and the late March run up into the 128 area. Now you got the right shoulder kicking around there in the April. And we don't talk about this a lot, but obviously, starting to break down from that area. And if you look where we came from, January, we're down, under $100, around $97. So I don't know if you look at that, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. I'm not saying it's going to go there, but obviously has the potential to do that. So
yeah,
scary financials.
Yep, keep a real close eye. 107.77 was yesterday's low, and that 108.29 was the previous day's low there. So this thing is 30 cents away from there now, but if it can't hold 108, you're definitely looking for a nice drop here, at least down to the 106 level in the short term.
That's all we've really got for movers. Obviously, there's lots moving, but we're out of time. Joel, what's your final thoughts around the market? Are we going to hold those lows from yesterday and make a double bottom, open at the low and spike, or are we going to cut through it?
Dennis, double bottom. It's Monday's low, 1342.50. Tuesday's low, 1343.75. Boy, we're already down 12. It's only 4 points away from there, Dennis. I think we get there. I think we kiss it. If we break through, don't look for the crush, because a lot of times they'll go down, they'll take out that number. Move your stops down if it comes back up there, because you could just get your lollygag, rally after that. But if it stays under 1342 for any period of time, we're going to 1332. That's our show for today, folks, and we'll be back with you tomorrow.